Well, hello everyone. Hey, it is Karen McDermott Rolfe, independent advisor with Creative Memories, and I'm so happy to be here today to share a layout demonstration video with you. Before I do that, though, I just have a few little announcements for you. First of all, I hope you saw my video from last week where I shared my monthly technique layout and challenge for the month of August. So if you haven't seen that layout and video yet, please do so. And then you could participate in my August door prize drawing in my private Facebook group at Karen's Croppers. When you're in Karen's Croppers, make sure to go to the album section and you are going to find a wealth of scrapbooking ideas and inspiration there for you. You're also going to find more of my layouts and information about my events, both in person and virtual, some on-demand page classes that I offer, and lots of other info at my blog at karencrops.com. And then, as always, I so appreciate your purchases through my Creative Memories website link at creativememories.com/user/Karen, and it's Karen with the Y. And don't forget about my generous customer rewards program. All right, everybody. So I'm going to be making a layout today using the very adorable, it's just super cute, Berry Harvest collection. Before I do that, though, I want to give you a little sneak peek about Croptoberfest. So on August 25th, customers are going to be able to purchase the Croptoberfest materials from Creative Memories. Plus, our fall collection will be launching then, plus maybe a few surprises too. So make sure to check out that product launch on August 25th. Now, I received my Croptoberfest early as an advisor, and I am going to start designing with these now to create my own exclusive layouts for my virtual Croptoberfest. I'm going to save the materials and show them to you maybe next week as a little precursor to the product launch. But just to give you a sneak peek right now about Croptoberfest, it is a gorgeous color palette, you guys. I really love this color palette. Really a new color features kind of dominantly, heavily in this collection, and that is plum. This is a new cardstock color just this month from Creative Memories, and also a second new cardstock color, caramel. So both of these are new this month, along with two new shades of blue. So the shades of blue, they're a little dark, they're darker than our baby blue, but lighter and brighter than lighter than our blue. So it kind of fills out the blue color palette. So make sure to check out those blues because I know that is a favorite color of so many of you. But back to the Croptoberfest palette, we have the new plum, canary, pumpkin, avocado, this beautiful shade of green, and then the caramel. So we're going to make some really gorgeous fall layouts using that Croptoberfest customer bundle. And that is what I am recommending that you purchase, would be the customer bundle, because you're going to get the Croptoberfest kit, the accessory paper that you can only get when you buy the bundle. You'll get the cardstock bundle. You'll get embellishments, a whole little pack of beautiful embellishments that only, again, come in the customer bundle. There'll be some layered embellishments, and there'll be some variety mats too. So it's a great bundle, and make sure to check that out later in the month. But let's get back to the layout today using the Berry Harvest collection. I was really excited when this one came out because, I don't know if you guys, those of you guys who follow me and do some of my page classes, especially, ones we did recently, maybe National Scrapbook Day kind of featured gardening kind of heavily, and I talked about my gardening efforts, and I am sure that I talked about my blueberries because they're one of my favorite items in my garden and one of my best garden successes, maybe. I've had a lot of failures with my garden, but the blueberries are a great success, and I really get bumper crops from those bushes. And my granddaughter, and we just love the blueberries, so I talk about them often. So the Berry Harvest collection does have some papers that feature blueberries, but they also have many others that feature strawberries. So there's two different strawberry prints. We have cherries, just as a summer fruit. We've got the great gingham you can't go wrong with, a nice yellow stripe, some little vintage print here of canning jars, and those work really nicely with the punches that came out with the Berry Harvest collection. We had the canning jars border punch, where you punch a row of little canning jars. Super cute. I'll be doing some fun stuff with those coming up. I've got some ideas here sketched out. And then also there's a mason jar punch. Again, I can't wait to create with that one also. The collection features the paper that I just showed, along with some really nice stickers. Now, you don't need to garden, you guys, or necessarily even have berry photos in order to use these sweet stickers and papers and the sayings. You know, the sayings are, and stickers, it's just kind of summary. And, you know, if you like ice cream, lemonade, you know, who doesn't love strawberries, cherries, peaches even here? We've got, again, some summer fruits. So just to make some really darling summer layouts, this is going to be great. I think my favorite, though, are the embellishments. I always tend to like embellishments better than stickers, and these have some really great embellishments in there, again, featuring all of those fun summery icons, okay? Another item that's part of the Berry Harvest collection is a variety mat bundle. And they have some great pieces that we can use for journaling, use for cut apart, and use as titles. And then also some other pieces of the mats. Let me get to them. Where is it? I thought I had it right on the top, but I guess not. Let me see. Here we go. Like from the kitchen of. So this makes a great recipe card, right? All the details. All in the details. Again, you can use that for a recipe card. From the kitchen of. These are the days. So very fun. So these would be really great for those of you who purchased our Recipe Happy album last fall. Remember this album? So for those of you that are creating recipe albums, I think you are going to love this collection, because this collection is going to work really well with your recipe albums, and you're going to be able to use some of these variety mats as more recipe cards, because that was something that we heard back fall, the collection that came with it. People were asking for more of the recipe cards. So here you're going to have some in this variety mat or variety pack. Okay. Now for my layout today, I've got an idea here kind of laid out. I need to finish it, and we're going to finish it together here on my video. But I'm going to use an item that is no longer offered. I wanted to kind of have a frame where I wanted to use the blueberry paper, but I also wanted to pair it with a tonal print, so, you know, it's not so overwhelming. And again, when you have an icon print, it's often best to use it in small doses to get the biggest impact from the icon print. And then again, it's an icon print that I want to stretch as far as I can so I can make more layouts. So I'm going to show you a way to do that. And I was looking at our jumbo cutting pattern. Right now, the only jumbo cutting pattern that Creative Memories offers is the jumbo circle. This is a really beloved tool. We use it a lot. A lot of the designers, the advisors who do a lot of design work, you will see us using the jumbo circle an awful lot. And I know that so many of you have it. And then over the years, we have had a variety of other decorative jumbo patterns, although we do not have any offered right now. Okay, so for my layout, I'm going to use this one that had been offered in the past. This is the Jumbo Wavy Square Frame. Okay, Jumbo Wavy Square Frame that I'm going to use. And then we've also had the frame punch here, where we've got the wave on the inside. We've had the scallop circle punch, the wavy circle. I should look up the exact name. It's either wavy circle or scallop circle. Might be scalloped. But if you're looking for any of these patterns, make sure to reach out to your advisor or reach out to me, because I do have some in my inventory, because many of us carry inventory at our homes, and we might be able to help you out with some of these retired items that you might be looking for. Okay, so I'm going to use this one right now, and you can kind of see, I think, of what I'm planning to do. So let me pull up my chair and sit down here and get comfortable. I'm going to use the custom cutting system with the red and green blades. And I'm going to get a mat. And what I'm going to do, sometimes this happens, and sometimes I'm not always so happy with Creative Memories when they do this. It's all double-sided paper, which we love, and I'm not upset by that because I love that. But what I don't like is when they have the prints that I love, front and back. So then you have the quandary. What side of the paper do I use, and how do I stretch this paper? Because it's always great to have a nice neutral tonal print to go with the icon prints, right? So these two are on the front and back. I wish that this was on the back of maybe a different paper sheet, but it's not. So what I am going to do is center it here on my mat. I'm going to take this Jumbo Wavy Square Frame and center it, just eyeballing it to center it, okay? And I'm going to cut around both the outside and the inside edge with the red blade. I'm making sure that I have both prongs of that red blade in the cutting groove, and I'm going around. And I'm holding the pattern down with my hand and even my arm, you'll notice, so the pattern doesn't slip on me as I go around. And since there's a lot of waves that I have to go around with the blade, and it's hard to maintain an even pressure on the blade when you're going over all these little waves, I'm kind of double cutting. If I see an area that might not have gotten cut so well, I'll go back over it. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hold that frame down tight again so it doesn't slip. And I am going to go around and see, did I cut all the way through the paper? Like right here, I didn't quite get it. So I'm going to go back and cut. Now, since I didn't move my pattern, I'm going to be able to cut right on the exact same spot I need. Otherwise, if I had moved that pattern, it'd be really hard to match it back up. Now, I'm not going to use this piece for this layout, but I'm certainly going to save it to use it on another layout. And there I have a little bit more of my blueberry icon paper. And now I'm going to cut around the inside edge too. And the same thing, making sure I cut all the way through as I go around. Sometimes if you're having problems with your custom cutting system, not cutting all the way, the first thing I would suggest would be checking your mat. If your mat is old and hard, if it has lots of cut lines on it, it might be time to replace your mat. Or if your blades are really old, it could be time to replace your blades. So I have this piece too that I'm also going to save for another layout. And now I have my blueberry frame, okay? Now I'd like to mat this frame to give it a little bit more emphasis and highlight, the same reason why we mat our photos. So I'm gonna mat that piece again to draw more attention to it. Now, since I want the mat to be a little bit larger, I'm gonna use the green blade, and the green blade cuts further away from the pattern than the red blade. That red blade cut pretty much right next to the pattern. The green blade's going to cut a little bit further out to make a nice kind of narrow mat behind it. If you wanted an even wider mat behind it, use the blue blade, because the blue blade cuts even further away. And again, since, this cardstock is a little heavier than the designer paper, I'm pressing a little bit harder. And since I'm pressing harder, I'm making sure to really hold this pattern down tight so it doesn't slip on me. And I knew right there, I knew I didn't get it when I went across that corner. So let me go back. How'd I do on the bottom corner? Almost. I could probably just pull that apart, but instead I'll go back and cut it. And I think there's a little spot right down here. Ooh, now I just did a major mistake, you guys. This was a rookie error. You have to have both prongs of that cutting the cutting blade in that groove, or else it's going to tear your paper and not cut it. So I only had one prong in, and it started there tearing my paper. So I'm really going to hope that it didn't tear the other side. I'm hoping that I can flip it over and use the other side. So we will see here in a minute after I cut around this inside edge. Let's hope I don't have to do that all over. Phew, okay. Now if it were designer paper, I would have been in trouble, right? Because the back side would have been a different pattern. So again, really be careful with those prongs. And I'm just going back here with my microtip scissors. I can see a few little places maybe I had the blade or the pattern did slip on me a smidge. And I'm just gonna kind of even that out. Okay. So we have our larger frame, and we're going to take the blueberry frame and we're going to put it there. Now you see how it's nicely matted, right? So I'm done with my cutting mat, and I need the second sheet of the paper. As I'm looking for that, here I'll just flip through the patterns for you. I really love gingham. Anytime we can get gingham. This is a nice one. It's a little big, larger gingham, and instead of white, it has kind of a beige, creamy color in it. So where's that second sheet there, blueberry? Oh, I already had it out. It was on the back side. All right, so I'm going to use this side. I'm going to use this beige gingham as my background, and then I'm going to put my blueberry frame on that. Look how striking that is, you guys. Doesn't that, I mean, I really think that really highlights the blueberry pattern even more so. You know, because it's on that nice tonal print. It's got the matte of the blue cardstock. It's got the wave, which is kind of a nice scallopy, you know, cute. It's a cute shape, right? The wave, anything wavy, scallopy is kind of a cute shape. So it'll be great with this kind of this layout that I'm making. You can see right there where my paper needs to be trimmed off a little better, maybe. Love my microtip scissors. You guys know I always say that. These the microtip scissors. You can kind of get right into tight spaces a little bit more easily. Look at there, I use that repositional adhesive for a reason, right? In case I need to pull things up, I can do it easily with that repo. Looks like there's just a little nick in the paper from the blade. Pretty much I use my repositional adhesive all the time. Every once in a while I'll switch back and forth between the regular tape runner and the repositional, but sometimes it's just I just use the repo all the time anymore. Okay, now I want to center this on here. Again, just kind of eyeballing it. So already I think we have a super cute layout. Now what I wanted to do is I'm thinking of my blueberry bushes at home and how they look. And I was going to add a little frame around the frame on the inside here. So you can see I've already punched a few borders using the Leafy Vine Border Punch. Now this Leafy Vine, again, for you guys who've taken some of my on-demand page classes or done my virtual events with me, we have used this Leafy Vine Border Punch an awful lot. It's just we've had some beautiful vine punches, don't get me wrong. I pretty much, you know, I love them all. But this one, the size, the scale, the shape of it, I just find that it's super usable. And I go and I grab it a lot. I like that it's solid. It's a solid vine piece. I think this layout or this video is going to be a little bit longer. I'm always kind of conscious of that in my videos and how long they are. In my technique videos and layouts, I try to keep those around 20 minutes, no longer. Sometimes they go a little bit longer, especially if I get chatty. But this layout here is a little bit more decorative than my monthly technique layouts. So it's going to take a little bit more time. There's a little bit more busy work here that we're doing, a little bit more detail that we're adding. So this, I talked about my upcoming virtual Croptoberfest event, right? I'll do a virtual workshop for Croptoberfest where I'll use the Croptoberfest materials and create my own layouts. Let me see how I'm going to do this. And my layouts are, really highly decorative. They've got some intricate, fine details. I try to show unique ways to use our tools, and there's just a great way to learn some scrapbooking techniques and to make some beautiful layouts. So this layout is, a little bit similar to something I might be doing for one of those virtual classes that I offer. As you can see, I've got layers already, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here, and some different pieces. So I have another piece. Let's see if I can just cut it in half, or do I have to punch another one? And then I'll talk about these vine pieces a little bit in more detail here in a second. Let me trim that. Oh yeah, that's going to work. So I just needed three border pieces. And I'm just kind of seeing how to trim it to make it fit here. Again, using my microtip scissors to cut these leaf borders. Again, this is the Leafy Vine Border Punch. It's a current punch. It's still available. And I think I'll cut this one right here. Now you'll notice I added some veining, some veins to the leaves. Again, give it another layer, right? Essentially, that's a whole other layer on there with the pen. Again, it's a fine detail. It adds another layer that adds interest and richness to the layout. And I used the new white jelly pen. So that came out this spring. And if you guys, if you haven't used it or seen it yet, I highly recommend this white gel pen. It's a really great item to have here in our toolbox. And you might, maybe, it's not a big splashy item. And so, you could log into your Creative Memories account and add it to create a wish list on there. Just go to the items that you like, click on the item, and then down below in the description area of the item, there's an area where it can say add to my wish list. And so then this item will be, added to your wish list. So then when you go to place an order, maybe you don't want to place an order just for the gel pen, right? You don't want to pay shipping for just that. But that way, it'll be in your wish list so you don't forget about it. And then you just add your wish list to your cart when you go to checkout, okay? So creating those wish lists, that's a great strategy when Creative Memories has promotions. You know, you can get a head start on filling your cart, creating a wish list. And let's see, right there, I'm kind of not liking how that all came together. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut apart another little leaf piece and just add it right there. I know I can be a little fussy at times with some of these details, but this is what I like to do, and this is what's pretty to me. Okay, and so I use that repositional adhesive under the leaves. I might not have it on every leaf, but I have it enough that it's sticking down. And even if they're kind of sticking up a little bit, it just adds a little bit of dimension, which is kind of another layer, right? Another layer of interest. So now my vine needs some blueberries. So I have already started with a few of these. And I'm going to make some little clusters. Now I used the new Bubble Scallop Border Punch to get these circles this size. I tried a few different, I tried our handheld circle punch, and that was too small, I thought. I tried the custom cutting system, the smallest option that we have on the custom cutting system, and I thought that was too large. So I thought that this Bubble Scallop Border Punch, the largest piece right there, the largest one, was just about the right size. Now, this was a punch that sold out right away. And we know that happens with Creative Memories items, right? There'll be something that is really appeals to a lot of people, and it sells out quickly. Other items, they don't sell out as quickly. They'll hang around longer. So it's always hard to tell, you know, what's going to be popular, what's going to sell out quickly. You know, can I wait to order? Do I have to order right away? And the rule of thumb there is to, if you love it, it's just always best to order it as soon as you're able. And I'm just using some scrap pieces here, and I'm just putting it in the area of the punch where it punches that one circle, because I really don't care about any of the other size circles. I'm just trying to get as many of that larger circle as I can get, and I was just trying to use up some scraps. I didn't concentrate well enough there because I got some partial circles. Let's try again. This one's going to be a little hard to find. I'm already sold out of this one, you guys, so I do not have any more of this one in my inventory. If you need some, if you're looking again for the circle sizes, you could look at the Bubble Border Punch, or the Bubble Border Maker cartridge. Okay, the Bubble Border Maker cartridge probably has a circle that's close to this size. Might not be quite this big, but it would be close, and that would be a good size for the blueberry. So let's see what I ended up there. Hopefully I got a few more, which I did. And I don't think, since this video is going to be really long, that I'm going to take the time right now to adhere all these little blueberries down. But I do have some here ready to go. And I wanted to show you too what I'm going to do with them. Again, I'm going to use the white jelly pen. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to add just a little accent mark there on the blueberry, so it looks kind of like maybe the sun is hitting it. Kind of put it in the same spot on each berry because the sun would be coming from the same direction, putting that little accent mark on it. So I'll hold that up closer so you can see that a little better. You see this beautiful detail. Isn't that fun? It's just so cute. I just love this already. And you can see how the pen detail really adds to the cuteness factor here. Okay. So my other ideas for this layout now, I took a variety mat. It had a title that I liked. I cut that apart and I matted that too on some blue cardstock. So I thought that would go there. I have photos in mind already from this summer. My granddaughter loves our blueberries. When she comes to visit, she helps me to pick them. And we have been making blueberry pancakes together since she was a baby. Well, she wasn't making them as a baby, but she was eating them. And now she has progressed where she makes them all by herself. And it's kind of one of our tradition, you know, when she comes to visit us, we always make blueberry pancakes. And it's so nice in the summer when I have the blueberries from our bushes that we can use. So I kind of was thinking along this line here with some of the embellishments and the mats and such. So I had some mats cut already. I have a big one there of Ellie holding up a plate full with a huge, well, it wasn't quite a stack. It was more a pile, a pile of pancakes. And she's holding that plate, can barely hold it because it's such a huge batch that she made. So that's going to go here. I think I have some close-ups maybe of her making them, you know, flipping the pancakes on the griddle. I highly recommend getting an electric griddle to do pancakes if you don't have one. Much easier than a pan. And then definitely I wanted room to journal some of the story about our blueberry making. So this is let me see here, get my little ruler. It's a 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 mat, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. The small one, I'm hoping I can crop the photo down to about, this is a 3 by 4 mat. So 3 by 4. And then the journaling space, it's the blue portion is also 3 by 4, and then the beige portion is like 1/8 of an inch smaller. So as soon as I get off camera here, I'm going to go ahead and add some more blueberries to my vine, add the more pen detail. I'll go ahead, I'll get these adhered down. I'll be using some foam squares. Maybe I'll even use foam squares for the blueberries. Maybe I'll pull those up and use some foam squares on them. And on the little added embellishments, I'm going to add, let's see, some of that punch debris got underneath my leaf. Okay, so there is my blueberry layout. Super cute, you guys. I hope I've inspired you to try to create something here with the Berry Harvest collection. Check back next week. I'm going to have a follow-up border layout idea to go with my monthly technique layout and challenge. I'm going to give you a new twist on that challenge. So make sure to check back for then. And I think next time I will also give you maybe a look at the Croptoberfest materials, and we'll talk about that. And I'll have my date for my virtual Croptoberfest event all set with the registration link for you, so you can join me. I'm looking at the very end of September to do that virtual event. So I'm just honing in on the days and how I'm going to do that. So stay tuned for information about my virtual Croptoberfest event. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great day.